Welcome everybody to our second game here in this series. So first of all, I want to apologize that we only have one game of the series that we can show you. We jumped into this one a little bit late. Our own series lasted a bit longer, so it's the second game that we have. mYisanity, as you can see on the scoreboard, is currently in the lead, and once again you didn't miss anything. There was no first game that was recorded here, but we still wanted to record this one also, of course, for YouTube, since we have a TSiM in play. mYisanity currently here on Sky Temple to the left with ETC played by Blumby. We have Nurok on Zagara, Splendor on Rhaegar, and HazoOps is playing TSiM. Darkmok currently on Thrall, and to the right side of the map, the Silenced Monkeys, their opponent, with Blakidney on Greymane, Crawler on Tyrande, Shipley on Sylvanas, Mopsio on Mirrodin, and Stitches is playing Gluehammer. Already, TSiM down, by the way. That was a fast one. That was a lot faster than I expected.
Yeah,
but
5 versus 5 on Watchtower, he got hooked and he died.
Yeah, the game starting off with a bit of a bang there. So, yeah, welcome also Tetcher to the stream here. So guys, in case that you didn't know it yet, he's currently joining me for the first qualifier for Dreamhack Tours, which is at the same time, of course, the second regional final for Europe. So we're going to see quite a bit of action. And we have Shrug It Off as the level 1 talent on TSiM. So he's going for a bit more safety here.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, giving him a little bit of that sustained. Nice dodge by Darkmok there from Mopsio. Because once again, we are seeing this Miranda combo that we haven't seen in a while.
At this point, by the way, it's interesting to see that the Silenced Monkeys, it was always only Gluehammer that was not silenced, and people have already been joking that he should become a little bit more toxic in his Hero League game, so that they are really the Silenced Monkeys. But it feels like they are really getting away from all of this, since at this point, only 3 of their 5 members are actually silenced. So the bit of an inside joke is starting to, to wane off a little bit. They are qualified, by the way, for the regional final number 1 in Leicester. Both of these teams are. So they will not show everything in these games, but the fact alone that mYisanity is comfortable enough to play a TSiM in this case is pretty incredible. And of course, TSiM as a hero choice against that heavy front line with double Warrior, Mirrodin and Stitches is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he's actually playing with Golden Tiger, aka like the beginner mount that you get for buying the starter edition, and no skin. He could not look more noob right now.
Exactly. Like there's like 2 things that you oftentimes see. It's A, the poverty horse that it's called,
Yeah.
which is already like saying that you are not able to own any other mount. But if you go for the pleb tiger, this is another thing. This was like the early one. Another hook kill. There goes Rhaegar, but the follow-up is Blumby dives deep, wants to go for Greymane, and somehow Blakidney is still alive with 18 hit points at one moment. But ETC dies, and mYisanity is off to a bit of a shaky start here with another hook hitting Nurok, and he's about to be eliminated, but this time Greymane bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and there's the first kill for mYisanity.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to take control of this temple, get most of the remaining shots. Top temple yet to be touched, so after they're done with this, they can rotate to a fountain and then go to top and try and contest this, as what we are seeing from mYisanity. They're all already up here. They're trying to take control with that healing totem.
mYisanity is a little bit low when it comes to experience here in the level. 5 versus 4 with a slight lead now for the team in red, who's attempting to conquer also temple number 2. The bigger they are, the talent on TSiM on level 4. They're seeing an Envenom for Thrall, and at the same time it's again, of course, Envenom Spines on the side of good old Zagara, and she is going to attempt to actually like put a lot of vision onto the top lane. TSiM again being eliminated here. The hooks that we're seeing out of Gluehammer are insane at this point.
Darkmok getting kited hard there by Sylvanas, so he's going to get taken down, as did Rhaegar. Well, and Greymane from the side of the Silenced Monkeys, but Silenced Monkeys really taking control of this game so far.
Yeah, as we said before, we couldn't really get a hold of the first game since we were in a different series casting that, but as you can see here, the Silenced Monkeys were not really happy about losing the first game, and they're coming back with a bang into game number 2 at least. They want to force that third game. We're seeing currently Sylvanas with the Withering Barrage on level 4 after she went into the Overflowing Quiver on the level 1 talent. Level 7, very likely going to be the barb shot for her now too, but they are off to 6 kills versus 2 and a level lead only 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of control, doing a very good job splitting up into all of the lanes, soaking everything, and keeping the push going. So they're going to be more than prepared for the next set of temples.
Tenderizer and Battle Momentum taken on the side of Stitches and Muradin. The bottom temple, of course, is going to be a pretty big deal, since if that goes to the Silence Monkeys as well, it would be a very uncomfortable situation for mYisanity, who would fall farther and farther behind in this particular game now. The level 7 talent is going to hit in time, though, to really fight over the temple, who hasn't even been announced yet. But here comes the level 7, and that's going to be interesting once again. Battle Momentum for Nurok, that's an important one. And we have at the same time now also the Relentless Soldier taken for Tychus. Considering that he's up against this many stuns, roots and slows, this is of course an incredible talent to take. Again, the attempt to go for a hook into stun, but this time Gluehammer does not hit his mark.
Yeah, Tychus very much focusing on his own survivability here. The Shrug It Off for the Resistant, the Relentless Soldier, so far really focusing on keeping himself alive and not getting picked out, which has been happening so far in the early game, but now he's getting these talents, so he's going to have a little bit more of a chance to save himself in the late game.
I'm personally a little bit curious to see what Nurok is going to do with the Zagara. I still expect more to be taken here, but as I mentioned already before, we have seen a lot of the teams starting to experiment with Nidus, which has of course changed a bit, and which can really help you to just like split push the opponent very successfully. It's a talent that makes you so much more mobile on the map now after Blizzard started to change the way that it works just slightly, so it's always an option. But with Thrall and Sundering, with also the Mosh Pit being still available, more of course would give you a lot of teamfight control here. There's definitely a few options on how exactly they could play their style now. But the temple is active at the bottom of the map, and I'm very curious to see how mYisanity is going to deal with it, because let's face it, they're up against the level 10 any moment right now, so the chances of them actually fighting on the temple are slim to none.
Yeah, very true. I would like to point out that Zagara does have Battle Momentum, so it's more than likely she is almost definitely going for that Devouring Maw. As Battle Momentum doesn't really affect doesn't affect the Nidus Worm as much. It does affect our Hunter Killers, but the cooldown reduction on the Maw is so useful.
Withering Arrow or Wailing Arrow has been chosen here. We've seen a couple of Mind games already, especially in the North American qualifiers for their regional finals. Starfall is of course always a solid option. It's interesting though that we have it taken with only being Tyrande the single support here, so no Shadowstalk. And oftentimes if you go Tyrande as the only support, Shadowstalk is more or less a must-have. But the damage output that you get from the Starfall is pretty good, and that's something that Rhaegar already experienced firsthand here. The slow is not too shabby either, and that's another kill in favor of the Silence Monkeys.
Yeah, and they actually got the kill with the Silence as well. The Wailing Arrow snipe at the end there, very nice. And we have level 10s now for mYisanity, the Mosh Pit, Devouring Maw, like we said, Ancestral Healing, the Draken Laser Drill, and that's Sundering.
As we all know from StarCraft 2, real man drill deep, and that's exactly what Tychus is going to go for right now. The Dragon Drill over the potential Commandeer Odin, which we sometimes see. So this is going to be a really, really interesting one. And keep in mind that, by the way, the drill has now an increased range as well. Blizzard changed a lot of the heroic abilities in the last couple of patches, and a lot of those are now being picked up again. Another one that we've talked about in the past is also, of course, Johanna's Falling Sword, which now does incredible damage, and led to Johanna actually being one of the tanks that can dish out the most damage of all tanks. If she plays it right, it gets a couple of good hits off with the heroic. Again, the hook into stun against Splendor though, and oh my god, like he's blown to pieces. And that is kill number 8 now on the count for Team Silence Monkeys.
Yeah, Rhaegar's just raging, why can't I Ancestral myself? Not that it really would have helped there, because he was stun locked. But that was absolute devastation. Now we're seeing the Silence Monkeys begin to raid this easy camp. Very risky, but they're probably going to be able to get away with it.
Yeah, when it comes to control, we're actually seeing the Silence Monkeys in an amazing situation right now. And it's really starting to hurt mYisanity. Again, a hook attempt, and there's the stun. They play this combo extremely well. And this is, of course, one of the things that we have seen over the last couple of months, like even years. I mean, it has been part of the game, basically ever since Stitches and Tyrande really entered the game. So at this point, they play a great style here with their lockdown, with their isolation. And this is one of those things that we're going to see if they can actually keep it through the entire game, because the problem that they're going to run into eventually is that Tyrande is the only heal in this scenario, and that can become a bit of a liability.
Yeah, right. And we have the level 13 talents available for the Silence Monkeys now, where they can become more of a pain thanks to Sprint on Tyrande, so even if you catch her, she's going to be quite hard to take down. And the similar talent, Will of the Forsaken, coming in for Sylvanas, so getting her own little sprint there.
Yeah, Sylvanas with a bit of a panic button for herself now. The interesting part is, though, that without overflowing light and without having Shadow Stalk, the late game is really one of those dangerous situations for the Silence Monkey. Since their sustain in these fights is going to be very low, and that's a problem. Already the lockdown against Stitches, he's being attacked. There comes the Starfall, but Blumby goes for his mosh pit. They get the kill, though, against Thrall, against... Well, I can't even count them all. I mean, just one swoop moment, the entire team on the side of mYisanity explodes, and they all die. They got kills against Greymane and against Stitches, but that being said, they all lose their life here, and that didn't go well. Rhaegar didn't even have time to use his Ancestral.
Yeah, that was looking quite okay for them to start off with. ETC was able to get a good stun, which was meant he was able to save Rhaegar's life as he was the one engaged upon. He then even got a good mosh off of Greymane so that the Draken Laser Drill could kill him off. However, Sylvanas then just hit a Wailing Arrow on 3 members in the choke point, and then they just got destroyed by everyone. It was beautiful play there.
Yeah, and for mYisanity, this is actually like extremely bad now. They have to deal with the boss. There's a double temple. We have a bit of a fight here as ETC is attempting to go for Shipley, but he actually used the Will of the Forsaken here to get away, turns himself unstoppable and does not get affected by ETC's stun. Really well played here. Besides that, we have a lot of spell shields actually in this case now. ETC and Thrall both commit to the passive talent because they're saying we need to do something against all of that ability damage that is about to hit us once that we engage into a battle. We have also the Neo Steel coating now taken for Tychus, and it's all about ability damage reduction here for all of these guys. It's, as you already pointed out earlier, Tychus is really attempting right now to just play it as safe as he possibly can, because these hooks, these stuns, that lockdown that we have on the side of the Silence Monkey is a huge, huge problem for mYisanity.
Yeah, so they're trying to just stay alive as much as possible. Greymane following up onto ETC, they're able to pick him up, caught a position there.
mYisanity is really having a bad day right now. I mean, they won the first game, but map number 2 is very much in the hands of the Silence Monkey so far. Level 16 versus 14, a 2-level lead, taking out all of the structures in the outer circle, and not even a single fort has been eliminated on the side of the Silence Monkey. They have lost a fort, which is insane, and they are going for keep already.
There's a Sundering, though. We're seeing mYisanity begin to move in. They've walked through the Starfall in this case. The laser's just annihilated here. Got nothing. No worth at all. And we're able to see the Silence Monkeys back out.
I mean, they at least were able to force them away from the keep. I feel that kind of helps. They didn't have the level 16 ability yet, so the entire map control is still in the hands of the Silence Monkeys. What definitely has to happen for mYisanity is right now is soak. They need to go for all the lanes ideally and try to have a heartbeat on every single one of these 3 lanes, get the level 16 talent, and that's then the one opportunity that they have to maybe turn this around, once that they can fight on 16 versus 16. If it happens before the next temple is active, then there's the potential of them, I don't really want to call it snowballing a little bit, but at least getting some momentum. And that could really help them to come back into this. But even just looking at the kill count is already telling the tale of this game so far. 14 against 4 kills. And I don't even want to talk about the structural advantage that we're seeing right now for the Silence Monkeys.
Yeah, it's been pretty insane with those snipes we've been seeing. Alafu, Hamamopsio, and Krolu. They've just been catching people over and over again. And now they're back for round 2 on the keep. And this time they will get it thanks to the help of Sylvanas and 4 mercenaries here. The 4 Siege Giants going to continue pushing, and that's going to make mYisanity spend even more time that they could be rotating up to these temples, clearing these out.
They are going to get the level 16 talent though, and that's really going to help now for the next fight. Tychus is currently at the bot lane, trying to get the last few minions that they need. They're making their way over up to the top, and there's still another wave that they can easily take. Here we go now, with already the Brood expansion taken and the armor piercing round. And that is of course a great talent if you're trying to focus individual targets down. ETC going into the speed metal himself, not really aiming for that imposing presence that I could have definitely seen, but they attempt to go for Meridian right now, and look how fast Mopsio is dropping in hit points here, using Avatar, using Stoneform, trying to survive somehow. They turn it around, Zagara is dead, a bit too isolated, using them more, but they need some kind of follow-up. The laser drill is already there. Blikin is trying to attempt and take it apart, and he does, but here comes again the Silence Monkeys, and they are looking strong, but the mosh pit is there.
And they're actually able to get the kill onto Greymane. They're trying to turn it around. Gloomhammer now getting focused down thanks to the minigun from Hasselhoff. They get the kill. Mopsio getting focused down. And mYisanity starting to focus around, but they're starting to drop low. ETC to power slide away. Good stun from Mopsio, trying to turn on Hasselhoff. And look at the damage from Sylvanas. She's having to back out though. ETC trying to stop her. But they are going to see everyone else get out of there, but only 3 heroes left for each team.
Yeah, 2-for-2 trade, and you know, for the longest time it really looked like mYisanity would be able to pick up another kill here. Didn't really work out that way, but it was incredibly close. Hazobs with decent damage output on Tychus now, 24,000 so far. They are aiming for the top temple again, bottom temple. That's where Sylvanas is headed, but Mobster is incredibly alone over here. He's trying to get out. He's already on cooldown. Stoneform is being used. Splendor locks him down. Hazobs is there, and that is going to be the end of Mirrodin. There's no way for him to escape in this situation. Down he goes. Job well done. And that is, of course, another great kill here for mYisanity, and at least a few shots that they can pick up at the top now.
Yeah, however, the bot temple is currently being exclusively taken by Sylvanas, and she is going to be able to take down this middle keep. In the meantime, Darkmok, he's still defending the bot lane as well. Sylvanas actually is going to back away from this and not take the rest of the shots, so the keep will survive for the moment due to her team not being able to come and support her.
And they want to go for boss at this point. They're still Mirrodin dead, and that's of course a bit of an advantage that they have. And before level 20 hits, this is the best time that they have to go for the boss here. Especially since everybody else is at the top. The Owl is there, sees what's happening, but the Silence Monkeys are not really willing to commit to a fight. And I feel it's a good decision to let that boss go. It's of course tempting to try and contest it, but in a 4 versus 5 scenario, when you're about to hit level 20, why would you? They have so many structures still on the map, and it's going to be very difficult for mYisanity to really close the gap in experience and get on the same talent level. So as long as they are not exposing themselves too much and wait for Mirrodin to come back, I feel it's the best chance that they have to end this game once they get the level 20 advantage.
However, there are currently 4 heroes killing the mid laner of mYisanity. The keep goes down, and there's 2 bruiser caps in the top lane. So we could see the Silence Monkeys continue to push it, but it looks like they are going to come back and play defensive a bit due to the fact that their bot lane has been absolutely trashed by the combo of the temple and the boss and the push. And Nurok just going to come back and try and defend this top lane because those bruisers pushing hard.
Yeah, they definitely do, and he needs to save that keep. We have, by the way, Celestial Wrath taken now too. The damage increase by 30% is crazy. It is just so strong after the damage already got buffed on the talent. mYisanity finds themselves still in a pretty shitty position considering structures. I mean, they only have that top keep, and that's already down to half health. But at least, when you look at experience, they're starting to make their way back. So they have an opportunity to maybe win a team fight at some point and turn it around here, which is kind of insane if you think about the kill count. 7 versus 16 now, 16 minutes into the game.
Yeah, almost all of those 7 kills have happened in like the last 7 minutes or so of the game, in fact. Just the recent late game. And, well, this keep about to be sieged by the Silence Monkeys. They want to take it down and basically leave mYisanity with no defense and really open them up to backdooring. Glumby, though, looking for an opportunity to punish the greed here. Gluehammer, nice slow with his slam there. Neither team wanting to engage, though. Neither one wants to overcommit.
Yeah, especially since level 20 isn't there yet. They need to be very careful. mYisanity cannot go too deep for this one. The hooks are always going to be a threat. And there it is again against Zagara. That's perfect. Immediately the heal, and they are trying to turn around. They have the level 20, and here comes the mosh pit, and it's a good one at that. But the Silence already interrupting it. Gluehammer is turning around, killing Thrall. It's a 4 versus 5, and there goes Rhaegar and Zagara. This is going to be it. They hit that 20s. They could sometimes not even pick the talent dead, though. And this is going to be the double and triple kill that they needed. This keep is going to fall. They're not going to even bother with a temple. This is checkmate. We are going to see a third game between these two teams. Well played here. Even Blumby is now being attacked, but yeah, that did not work out for mYisanity.
Yeah, they weren't able to bring it back. So the score goes to 1-1 here. Very nice play from both teams. We got to see Tychus, but yeah, didn't really work out.
Crawler is apparently liking his Tyrande. He has the most damage on his team with 42,000. But yeah, guys, we're going to see a third game between these two teams. So we're going to jump into game number 3 in just a moment. Game number 3 is starting, ladies and gentlemen, and we have our next match here. So once again, quick apology that we didn't get the chance to show you the first match or also like the draft for game number 2 or game number 3 here. But as we said, we jumped into the series a little bit late. We have the final match now though in this particular series, and of course we wanted to like show you that on YouTube at least as well, so you have a bit of an idea of what was happening in the tournament. We already saw a great game on Sky Temple, and mYisanity versus the Silence Monkeys is going to be decided on Garden of Terror, a map that we don't see all too often. To the left side, mYisanity with Blumby on Tyrael, Hazorbs on Abathur, Darkmog on Illidan, Splendor on Rhaegar, and Nurok on Lunara, as the Silence Monkeys start to the right side with Blickitney on Greymane, Mopsy on Muradin, Kroll on Uther, Gluehammer on ETC, and Triply on Falstad. So an Illidan composition on the side of mYisanity, and the Silence Monkeys trying to counter that with not only a double warrior front line once again, but also more CC thanks to Uther with his stun, and also the Shrink Ray then after level 13.
Yeah, we see the 5-man group up by the Silence Monkeys in mid lane. They were able to clear out the minions very quickly, and actually every single minion worth of XP is lost in the mid lane, other than a tiny bit that Abathur was able to pick up. But Illidan soloing the top lane currently versus 4. He's going to have a wonderful time. Whereas we have the 4-man four heroes in the bottom lane right now, including Abathur, who's actually pushed up his body.
Yeah, at the top lane, a massive commitment also for the structural damage here. At the bottom lane, we're seeing a very similar thing, as already pointed out by Tetcher. Interesting is also that in terms of talents, we're having right now Immolation taken for Illidan. In previous games, I've already highlighted a bit the potential builds that we have for Illidan. The Battered Assault is another great level 1 talent that you can go for. But on level 1 in this case, we're seeing Immolation, which of course helps you to also get the seeds once that the objective is spawning in the game. Friend or Foe usually on level 4, the talent choice here. For now though, it's really important to have a closer look at the experience as night is falling. Both of the teams roughly on the same amount. The gate is still intact at the bot lane, but the towers have been eliminated. And we are seeing mYisanity and the Silence Monkeys aim straight for the first plant.
Yeah, they both go for the smaller camps so that they can just grab those quickly, so that they don't get caught out doing the big one. Now they can work on positioning themselves and setting up to grab some kills, which will allow them to start going for one of the big terrors.
The entire setup for mYisanity is of course like focused on Illidan right now. They have a Tyrael that can jump in together with Illidan, can also then go for the Sanctification and make sure that Illidan is not going to be locked down immediately by ETC and Muradin. But at the same time, they're having that focus with Abathur now as well. They're going into the Adrenal Overload on level 4, and we're seeing them on level 1 with the Pressurized Glance now, which is another one that's really important to note here, since it's all about the focus on keeping Illidan alive after level 13 and 16. So no pushing power with a focus on Symbiote, but a big battle already happening down at the bottom here, where both of the teams are trying to go for those seeds, especially Prishbly on Falstad is in trouble, taken down by Darkmog on Illidan, and Illidan is not done yet, trying to jump in again together with Tyrael. They're aiming for Gluehammer in this case, and he is already closing the distance. ETC in trouble and eliminated.
Yeah, and Darkmog able to dive out as well, putting up a great show here already. Able to pick up some good kills by just completely ignoring the front line and heading straight into the back line. And they're going to be able to pick up most of the remaining seeds on this terror.
Taking Illidan apart is a huge problem for a lot of teams, which is why we often see bans on him. And he goes in for the 3rd and the 4th kill now. Darkmog, enabled by by Rhaegar and also Abathur, is doing solid work here already. And we see them with 4 kills against 0. One of the things that really led to the Illidan pick in this game and why he wasn't banned out is that mYisanity is incredibly strong on the Lost Vikings as well. They have 2 Vikings players, Hazorbs and Nurok. And this is one of the best maps for the Lost Vikings, so in this case, we actually had a ban against the Vikings, and that allowed mYisanity to go straight for Illidan, and they are currently using him to great value in all of these fights, and they get a solid lead and experience out of it, and also, of course, in seeds.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid right now. Darkmog continuing to harass and just push back Moxio with the help of Nurok. And we're actually seeing the Ether Camp being taken here, but it's actually going to be raided via mYisanity here. They're going to try and steal it.
Yeah, and they have Illidan in the middle of things, and level 7 is also hit, so that's another big talent that they have. And once again, Illidan is already on it, trying to go for a kill against Grollo, and he gets it. He's not stopping there. He wants Greymane as well, and Darkmog is going balls deep. This guy knows only one direction, and he is moving in for it immediately. Kill after kill after kill, 6 kills against 0. and things are starting to look a little bit grim for the Silence Monkeys. Level 7 with a reflexive block, the standard talent on Illidan to take, but of course another big problem that we're currently seeing for the Silence Monkeys is that with Nature's Culling picked up on Lunara, they can burst these plants down super easily, and that's exactly what they do to get access to even more seeds and secure the first objective for them.
Yeah, so they now have a Terra, so they can put even more pressure on once it has spawned. So we'll see who grabs that. It could be Darkrock, so that as he's not going to be a huge amount useful in the actual pushing, and that looks like what it's going to be. He is being back to base, while the rest of his team start from as many mercenary camps as possible, so that they're going to be able to get a huge amount of pushing potential out of this.
Now the problem, of course, that we're still seeing on the side of the Silence Monkeys is that Illidan control is going to be a bit tricky for them. Usually at the beginning of the game, Illidan is a little bit weaker since he's still missing a lot of the talents that allow him to stay alive during the fights and dish out the damage. But in this case, it worked really out well for mYisanity since they have Abathur and also Rhaegar to help him out and Tyrael to just help him at the side. One of the big things that's going to come into play then later on is though that we have a lot of additional CC coming into play for the Silence Monkeys after level 10 and 13. And that's something that they will heavily rely upon if they go into these team fights. For now though, mYisanity is trying to push their advantage to get an even bigger lead and take out even more structures to head into an early level 10, which would allow them to snowball heavily against the Silence Monkeys.
Yeah, and they're pushing forward. Nice position on the Polymorph by Darkrock. They're trying to zone out Mopsio, but Mopsio with the Dwarf Toss will be able to get out here. Polymorph does land on a couple heroes, but they're still going to be able to push here with the bowl positioned further back because it doesn't do building damage anymore, it just disables, and they're only attacking the towers, so positioning the bulb in a little bit safer position here.
Yeah, Hazorb still with the soak at the top lane. They have the level 10 now, and that of course gives us Metamorphosis. Once again, the Sanctification for Tyrael. We have also the Thornwood Vines on the side of Lunara, who's getting a lot of poke damage from the distance, but they are pushing 6 minutes into the game already for a keep, and they get some solid damage in. Gluehammer is low, is pushing them away, but look at Darkmock, he's once again going straight in, going completely ham here, and they want that kill on the keep. 6-7 minutes into the game, Illidan jumps away, but they are going to get the structure.
Yeah, Darkmock has to back up. He was the one actually taking the keep shots there. He's able to escape. Abathur also got the clone in, but it was picked off. But like you said, they're able to get the keep for only an Abathur clone loss. That's the only XP they gave up during that.
That was insane. I mean, like, they have 7 minutes into the game, an entire lane pushed in already, and an open corridor towards the core. So that is crazy. If you look at also what they're doing on the map right now, they have a 2-level lead, more than that even, and they are attempting to just get more lane control by taking camps away from the opponent. They have more or less a soak on all 3 lanes with Abathur just jumping around everywhere. Hanzo is incredibly strong on this particular hero, and he's showcasing that right now. And as long as there's no level 10 for the Silence Monkeys, there's absolutely nothing that they can do in a team fight. They finally picked the talent up, and I'm super curious to see how they're going to use it, especially since we have the Divine Storm on Uther for added CC against Illidan.
Yeah, and the Hinterland Blast. It's all down on the burst. Try and kill Illidan. Illidan metamorphoses though and dodges out everything there. Now they are turning it around, but the focus on Illidan. He dodges out the mosh pit, but still gets caught out. The clone on the Illidan is in the mosh pit. He's trying to kill off Valstead before he goes down, though Valstead may die to the poison here. There's the heal just in time.
Yeah, the Rhaegar and the Illidan copy are still doing some solid work here, but Hazorb is now losing the copy. Black Kidney is low and will be eliminated by Tyrael. Down he goes. Gluehammer, on the other hand, is also taken down as Lunara jumps in, and now we're having Splendor closing the gap to put down Uther as well. Illidan dying, and that really helped them for a moment, but level 13 hit. And, well, let's be honest here, Falstad actually a little bit too trigger happy, going for the early heroic ability and allowing Illidan to just simply jump out with the Metamorphosis, so that ability did not do any damage whatsoever. If he would have waited a little bit longer until that mosh pit was finally through on ETC, he could have actually done a lot more damage and maybe even helped his team to snowball in that fight after they took down Illidan. In this case now, though, we have still level 13 talents, and that gives another huge lead to mYinsanity, who are already on point again for the seed battle.
Yeah, and the level 13 talents, we have the imposing will to deal with auto attacks on the Tyrael, the 6th Sense for Illidan, which is going to be great considering the Falstad build so far. Going to be absolutely wonderful for him, and we are seeing mYinsanity take as many seeds as possible. Still the same 48 seeds that they've had since the start of the game for the Silence Monkeys, because they can't fight, they can't raid while their talents are down.
We've talked a bit about that keep that was falling in the mid lane here this early in the game, and also about, of course, the seed advantage that we're now seeing for mYinsanity. And I talked about the talent already before, but I want to highlight it again, since it's actually one of the things that oftentimes can slip someone's attention. The level 7 talent, Nature's Culling, is incredibly strong, since against non-heroes you do a 200% extra damage, and that applies not only to the plants, but also to structures. It's one of the main reasons why mYinsanity was able to really get that much pushing power in the mid lane when they eliminated the keep, and also why they're able to burst down these plants this fast and get a massive, massive seed count. They will get a double plant actually out of this situation, which is absolutely incredible for them. I mean, they have 2 plans in a row right now. They're going to try and use that to get even more experience. They eliminated 2 forts and the keep, and they're already working on the 3rd up at the top.
Yeah, we also see Bloomby look at this position just a little bit lower so that he can basically act as an early warning system for his team for when the enemy decide to roam up to try and stop them, which they're not. We actually have ETC pushing the bot lane, trying to get the fort, as much damage on the fort as possible and protect these siege giants, whereas the rest of the team were pushing mid lane, but they realized we should really be or we're going to lose everything.
This is an amazing decision by mYinsanity. They actually saw that the Silence Monkeys were aiming for a trade. They were going to the bot lane and the mid lane to take a few of the structures down, and they immediately went for the keep and ignored the fort for a moment and said, like, guys, if they push, we just threaten keep, and they're either going to lose it or they have to back, and that's exactly what the Silence Monkeys did. But we have level 16 talents now versus level 10 talents. We don't even have, finally we have the 13s ready for their opponents, but this is a disaster. Blades of Azeroth have now been chosen as well. Massive damage on Illidan, and they are jumping in for the kills. They get keep number 2. 11 minutes into the game, and mYinsanity in this 3rd game of the best of 3 series is doing incredible work.
Yeah, they are looking so strong, and even this pushing that was just done via the Silence Monkeys to try and bring themselves back in. The push in the bot lane has already been counter-pushed by Abathur, and the mid lane has de-pushed itself. However, this could be risky. There's the mosh pit, and Illidan gets annihilated there, as does the clone. Bloomby coming in here to try and steal it. He does get the cap, and they're turning it around. Everyone's dying. The poison is so good. Gluehammer staying alive though thanks to Uther, but Falstad goes down. Mopsio may be following soon, gets the stun, gets the slow, but the Abathur is poking him down, and Mopsio will fall.
There was finally some decent value out of the Hinterland Blast as well. I mean, they get solid damage out of it. This time he waited long enough for ETC to get a chance to use his mosh pit. But with this massive lead in levels and also in talents, it didn't really make any difference anymore. The clone is down and so is Illidan, but it doesn't matter as Norog on his Lunara just does so much work and more or less annihilates the entire team of the Silence Monkeys. They got a good start into the fight, but with them being so far behind, they just could not capitalize on these early kills. So now we have 13 kills against 2. We're seeing again the map taken completely by the blue team. They're painting the map blue now by claiming camp after camp, and they have a second plan ready as well. They waited a little bit longer, and they're now going to take it with Illidan and Tyrael being ready at the left. And this could very well also be game. I mean, the core is completely open as top keep and mid keep have been eliminated. Only the bottom is still alive, and the situation for, I mean, it couldn't be any worse right now.
Yes, so they basically have to just go full on the defensive and get one amazing fight. But in order for that fight, they're probably going to need Mosh Pit and Hinterland, which are still down, like you said. So here comes the Terra with the entire team. Abathur even moving his body up a bit so that they get a bit of locus support. And there we go, they're beginning to push in. The Polymorph does land onto Muradin, who's actually trapped outside the base, but there's no follow-up damage yet. They're not taking that risk. Sanctification used a bit early, I'd say, but that is allowing them to take down at least the towers at the front of the base.
ETC is up at the top. He's trying to go for level 16, but it's going to be very close. They need to move him back and make sure that they have someone to help with the defense here, and that's exactly what they do. They're waiting for 16, but they don't get the chance to use that ability. They're attempting instead to just burst down the plant, and it's still an early game plant. We're only 13 minutes into the game, and mYinsanity is forced back for now. Night has fallen again, so there's again seeds to be taken, and that's something that they might be focusing on right now. Of course, the first priority is the level 16 talent, and there it is now. This is the best chance that the Silence Monkeys had all game to make a bit of a comeback happening, even though they are still 3 levels behind. And look at this. Look at those toxic nests everywhere slowing them down. Mopsio is basically just like trying to clean up and runs from one into another. But now we have imposing presence taken. We have the overdrive, which of course capitalizes on the Hinterland Blast even more. And with now also Uther having Benediction, this might be a chance for them to win a fight, and they desperately need to get that victory.
Yeah, they have all their heroics. Those mines, they're not even extra damage mines, they're just the extra slow mines, purely there to be as annoying as possible. Core, there are minions on it, but the minion wave did just spawn, so that will be cleared up without too much input from the Silence Monkeys, who are trying desperately to find the side of mYinsanity, but they can't get to him, so that means mYinsanity are going to hit level 20 before the next fight. mYinsanity have just been playing pure jungle at the moment to make sure that they don't get caught out while still staying in range for XP where they can, so that they can slowly creep forward. Gluehammer is spotted by this totem. Looks like he really wants to try to steal this, but Holy Ground isn't enough, actually. Not on the ankle. There we go. They take the mercenary cap.
Falstad starts to fly in. 20s aren't there yet. Here comes ETC. The mosh pit completely whiffed. Not hitting a single hero, but isolates for a moment at least Tyrael. Ah, nice Hinterland Blast, but dodged already. Krolu, well, not enjoying this too much, and Illidan, of course, is going to clean house right now. He is going to turn Garden of Terror into a graveyard. First kill against ETC, then he takes down Muradin. Everybody eliminated, and mYinsanity on their way to victory. Gluehammer immediately saying like, alright guys, this is it. Never ever do we leave Illidan open again. That's not gonna happen once more. But they know that at least for this qualifier, they are already out of the tournament. mYinsanity, they finish game number 3 with a victory. They take down the Silence Monkeys. It's a 2-1 in the best of 3 series for them, and they will advance to the next round of the tournament, where we will see them go up against Team Liquid. Congratulations to mYinsanity, and we're going to see them in the next best of 3 series. Okay, everybody, that's it for the day. We had some really fun games here, and I hope that you enjoyed them and also the commentary. Of course, we're going to have more Heroes of the Storm action on the channel in the near future. So if you enjoy the esports scene, Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on Khaldor TV, and also like the video if you haven't done that yet already. There's going to be more European games. We're going to have more North American matches as well. And of course, if you're interested in the Chinese Heroes of the Storm esports scene, I'm going to have more games on the channel as well in the near future as those leagues start again. At the same time, though, if you have friends that are also interested in esports and in Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you forward the channel to them and share it with them. It was a pleasure casting for you today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, as I already mentioned, and I hope to see you next time for more Heroes of the Storm action here on Khaldor TV. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.